par exalchen, te le web sectes, you make this to ik. If les oreilles aploa, bosti mi les umek, so mi chast. As il we raplin, to le web sekirim, borek zictorim, block urim, forik zict, as you leave in toflin. If les I tarakua, exaltin, to le web sectirim, borim vot. Vlogzicterium, Borexict. Hello, staff, correctly marked. Abundance, whole abundance to you, family, close mixed. For whenever you watch this video, we're going to have a conversation today. Okay? Whenever you watch this video, you can watch this video because many of y'all are outside right now, which is why you're not on here. But that's cool. You're going to see it when you see it. But I had this on my mind real quick because I haven't been online for a little bit, tapping in out here in the motherland, one of the motherlands, because we have many all over the planet. And been just learning some things about tapping in. And many people are going through a lot of things that I've talked about that I've been through. And many of us are wondering if you have to do certain things in order to evolve. And the answer to the question is, if the version of yourself cannot exist with the version of yourself that you must become, you must let go pieces of the versions of yourself that exist right now in order to become that version of yourself, which is going to change everything. Now, many people, especially on this platform of YouTube, that have seen me evolve from Mr. Intensity to Coach Reg B to everything that I have found out that I am and live in that energy, have wondered, how could you leave the family? How could you leave the kids? How come you and Mrs. Intensity are together? All that stuff, right? And you have to understand that that version of me no longer exists. And many of you right now are going through issues and opposition with the version of you that is about to exist and the version of you that is about to be destroyed by you. Now, there are many things around you, there are many people around you that continue to need the version of you that exists right now to exist in order for them to continue their reality. But you have to ask yourself a question. Are you happy with the reality that you're existing in at this current time? And can you help them if you're going through the same opposition as them? So let's say if you're a parent and you have children, and with the children that you have, you are going to work in order to take care of these children. You are picking them up from school. You are doing basically the matrix programming things. You are feeding them. You are doing all these things. And I would say many of the mothers definitely have it more difficult than the fathers because the mothers have a responsibility to create life. And because the mothers create life, then whoever they choose to procreate with, that punishment, if they choose the wrong person and they have children before they're ready, they're going to suffer much longer. They have a much difficult time with that. If they find out that their children, they cannot save themselves and their children by staying in the system. Now, many of us are having our powers returned to us. Many of us are physically, mentally, spiritually, and every other way transforming because we have left these things behind. Now, this does not mean that we leave them behind forever. It means that we have to sacrifice time with these beings, with these people, with these family members in order to genuinely help them because we are the ones who are going to be changing the system very soon. We are the rulers. We are the original rulers of this land. Now, many of you watching, if you don't feel like you're a part of that, you don't have to watch this video anymore. You should probably click off this video. I don't even know how you found this video because you don't find me unless you're ready to evolve. You don't find people like me, beings like me, gods like me, unless you're ready to evolve and hear this information that is going to confirm what you have been going through in your life and what you're about to overcome in your life only because you heard this message and that pushed you over. Now, y'all know my story. I was married. I have 4 children. And I'm no longer married because it wasn't time for that anymore. This person wouldn't evolve and I would evolve, and that's what it was. They're on their own individual journey. Sometimes when you're with a person in life, just because they don't evolve with you does not mean they evolve. Sometimes upon losing you, they will evolve because sometimes many of you are in relationships you will hold each other back by keeping each other around because you do not want to change up anything or you do not want to meet new people. Meanwhile, both of you are about to go on your journeys without each other and you are only supposed to be with each other for a short period of time. Blesomito coeg zicta si mi raplum. Mon stile es mi clag sactorem voc. Now, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I wouldn't know what I know right now if I was still in that previous life that you know me as Mr. Intensity, as Super Father, which I was, and I still am, because I am making the ultimate sacrifice to actually rescue my children from that system that siphons their energy. But I have to leave that and sacrifice that in order to tap into my abilities, because when you have your powers back, family, nobody can tell you anything and you're the one who makes the rules. See, when you tap in enough to nature, to plant medicine, to healing, whatever it is, your modality that you tap into, you begin to receive information about what it is you actually are and why it is you actually came here. Many of you are on the hero's journey, and that journey comes with tremendous amounts of adversity, tremendous amounts of sacrifice, tremendous amounts of pain, but also tremendous amounts of gifts and rewards. Blesso me to correct siktes mi yakum. Baklazo me dorekum satik torim salt. Elikorim bosi mi lues, o mi kisik torim shock. Blazo me direct sukta sak morim voxt. As I'm around my land that is basically tied to my DNA. See my hair starting to, I'm getting my hair color back, which is actually red. My hair is actually red, right? My facial hair is red. My underarm hair is even red. Like I'm a red dragon. To close on the replin, burgundy. And when you begin to tap into your ancient grid points, which are not going to be tapped into unless you leave certain things, whether it's your job, whether it's first before you even leave people, you leave habits behind. You leave attributes and characteristics of yourself behind that you thought were actually you. Blessed the reclum, Vanzik, Thorim Vlog. You thought that was you? No, that was who you had to let go in order to become who you really are. Let that go. That is not you. And sometimes we put some more challenges on ourselves to make the game a little bit more challenging, right? A little bit more challenging so we can. Now, I am of the firm knowledge and knowing that the more challenging the thing you have to let go is, the bigger the gift is you have coming to you. Blezomitoreku sati korimsik. Glezomidoreklu samikdosh. And people will definitely come against you and call you all kinds of crazy, all kinds of weird, and they will come against you in groups because they have to, because of who you are, because of what you are. If it was just one, it wouldn't be enough to even make you think about what you are doing if it was crazy. It has to be a whole group, a whole army. Sometimes that army is your family. Sometimes that army is your coworkers. Sometimes that army is your spouse. And sometimes that part of that army is your very own children. Because the thing is, people, is that when you begin to let the version of yourself go that needs to not exist anymore, the people around you, the programming, will begin to attack the version of yourself you're becoming because they don't want you to become that person. When you become that being, you no longer serve them anymore, and you begin to see it the more you become that being. You hear me? Glazomidoreku, mastik soliectum, bosti shend. Aziliwembu staek sonj. Bloim barik siktesimi raplin, dokong, dofilek somik. Blioxandorik by exotic, a blizindorik boeme replik, Egiliwezu kai zaktorem, borem zikt, kleximik, eluxtosh. And, many of y'all have gotten the call to let things and people go in your life, and you're sitting still. Well, you can sit there as long as you want. This is your journey, your reality, your experience. And as long as you want to experience that pain, you will experience that pain. And that is totally your choice, God. But what happens when you begin to get the call? Hmm? Get the call to do something different, the call from your higher aspects, to actually do what you came here to do, and you don't do it. Your life will not get any better. Guaranteed 100% facts. And if you're there too long, your dimension that you're living in will begin to kick you out of it by the things that happen to you to make you change. I don't know where you are in the US, but everywhere I go, I change the weather. And right now in Sedona, the weather has been beautiful every day for about 2 weeks now, since I've gotten here. It is right now about 90. The frequency is on about 90. And the chemtrails don't work anymore because my energy is so high that that shit is over here. But in some places of the land in different dimensions, let's say Jersey, I hear it's snowing over there, right? Jersey's every state that you live in is a different dimension. And a lot of time y'all was born in much harsher dimensions in order to break free from those dimensions or to push you into a higher realm and dimension. When I left Jersey, I went to all over the South and I landed in Georgia for a while. And then Georgia kicked me out of it when it got really cold. It went from like 82 to 28 overnight. I was like, oh, I guess it's time to move because I heard the ships, they were doing it. Family in the Skies, like, you got to go to Sedona. That's your home over there. That's one of your best places in the U.S. You got to go there. When I went there, it rained to cleanse the land, and boom, clear skies every day. Sun, and this sun feels like sex on my body. I'll be out here butt ass naked, right? And on top of the mountains, right? Because there's no place like when you begin to change and begin to vibrate in the frequency of love more and more and more, that sun, which is an extension of you, also begins to change. And your external world begins to reflect what's going on inside as well. But many of you are in a dimension right now that you need to leave. And you will not leave because of your comfort zone. But let me tell you something about your comfort zone. Comfort is actually uncomfortable. We don't like comfort as high level beings. We don't do comfort. We do constant change. This is why they call us the chaos beings. Because their order, right, is our chaos. True chaos. Our order is their chaos, which to them looks like chaos, and to walk the straight line like they want you to us looks like chaos. But they flipped it on you. They made you think the order that was created for you in this game that we created was actually good. One step in front of the other, but that's not how we move. We move based off of feeling and flow. And the thing is, when you're surrounded by a bunch of people who are moving off of the program, it is very difficult for you to move in the state of flow. Now, isn't it? It is very difficult for you to move in the state of flow because your flow looks like chaos to them. Your flow looks like inconsistency to them. So then what do? When your higher aspect that can change your whole reality is beginning to call you, and you have everybody around you pulling on your energy, feeding off of your light, whether they know it or not. Because many of them, they do not know what they're doing, but if they do not have the consciousness to remove programs from them, they will do it. And I know it's happening to you right now if you're around those people. Meklexumiaku. And the great thing about this is that we made sure we kept distance from each other. Us gods, us high-level deities, whatever you want to call us, are us beings of creation, right? Because if we're around each other, we're going to evolve too fast. And we needed to be around people who are not like us, that were going to challenge us to evolve on our own, because we would be much better when we evolve on our own for ourselves, Klezumi Repliking, and everybody else, if we have to pull on our own strength. Because the more will you pull in, the more aspects of your soul you pull in. Willpower is actually soul power. So the more will that is required, the more soul aspects you pull in. And guess what happens with those soul aspects that you pull in based off of your challenges? The more aspects you pull in, you become a new version of yourself based off of the aspect that is you that you pull in, and you never go back to the previous aspect that you were, because now you're bigger and you're better than you ever were because of this adversity, because of this aspect that you pulled in. And guess what happens when you begin to pull those aspects in, family? The people that you are around do not look the same to you anymore, because now you have higher levels of consciousness and perception to perceive what it is that's happening to you that you couldn't perceive before. You could not perceive this before, but now you cannot ignore it. And when you cannot ignore it, you are forced to do something because you made a move. You took a step. Glezumi derekum zatik tarim vok. Blikan dorek borim vok titchurim lokam semist. Ziliwepukam ziliweptaking dorek siktarim vorim blokst. Ziliwemborim bozim etakorik zik teblik. Bligayab dog coming some ilawasik. Tarim voim ile esur. Ren ziktorim vorek sukang zaktorim. Blizomi dereku. Let me get some water. This sun be getting me. I need my water. Seklezumi rekik. Blizumist. It's a beautiful time when you listen to yourself, but it is scary. And it's okay to admit that you're scared or even be in the energy of fear, as long as you do not let it paralyze you. To say you're afraid of anything is nothing wrong with that. To say you're going to do something with that fear, that means you become a better version of yourself, family. That's what that means. You become a better version of yourself when you tap into that. Oh, talk about the present tense too. Let's talk about the present tense. The reason why it's also optimal to remove yourself from individuals is because of people's wants to look into the past or the future and never the now. In order to be in the flow state, you must be in the now state. You can't be thinking about all this shit that you're going to do in the future. You got to be in the now, because you came here to experience the now. And you're always in the now. And the now is how you continuously create new versions of yourself. But if you're always looking into the future of a version of yourself you haven't created, you're creating that version of yourself right now. Just know what you're going to become more than what I am today. And allow whatever comes in, which is why I say, get outside of nature. That sun is cooking in a good way, because it's not cooking me, but it's cooking beings with low consciousness. This is not a sun that's going to be like, just because you're a black person, you're going to be out in it. Y'all thought that sun was going to be that. I even thought the sun was going to be that at a dimension. But as long as you continue to heal, you raise your frequency, you can be under the sun. This is not the sun blood sun, family. This is the frequency sun. And many beings that have this melanin cannot be under the sun because of the frequency that they carry. They got to be out here in hoodies. Meanwhile, I'm out here in Sedona. There's nothing but Caucasians walking around here under the sun. Like, oh shit. It's a frequency sun, family. And in order to get to the frequency, you must constantly be in a state of love, stand up for yourself, and remove the trauma that is in you, that contains you, into the reality that you're living in based off of the trauma that you have been through in your life, and letting it rule over you still to this day. Because that's the past. That should not exist right now. You must heal from that. And upon healing, you separate and you isolate for a period of time so you can find out who you really are. Not who you have become for the people that are around you, to become the person and the being that you really are here to be. That whole growing old and dying thing, that wasn't for you. That was a program that was fed to you to make you think that you had to grow old and die and do it in another life. Guess what, family? Activation is happening right now to many of us, and is happening in this life. Stop waiting on the next life and do it right now. Follow the instructions that I'm giving you. Many of us are already doing it. And no, it's not easy. It was never supposed to be easy. As a matter of fact, if it was easy, you wouldn't even want it. You wouldn't even want it, family. You wouldn't want no easy shit. You want this thing to be on high levels of difficulty because that's how you like to move. High levels of difficulty because high levels of ascension, high levels of abilities, high levels of responsibility. Because you have high levels of difficulty here in this. Blezomidorakum satik, karim lumik. Bleed the Korean boasted the king ik vox, orim vlayag songe. Zit Korean melo eso mixed. Blikom decimi repliking diexorim balk. Bear repliques of the king kong zephic, so me clogs. Bizdange. Oh, also, there are many things that are holding you back from doing what you got to do because of things you said you would do. The only reason at a stage of your life you said you never were going to do it is because you are going to come to a point in your life that you were going to do it. Yep. And now you have to get through those fear senses and do it. Because this is a game. And in this game, we set challenges up for ourselves for later on, based off of the belief that we have in the dimension that we're existing in right now. And we feel like that's solid. That's the knowledge, right? But then you get to a higher dimension and you're like, wait a second, I got to do that? Yup. And if you don't do that, you don't get to the higher one. God darn it. Close to me, Red League. And then you go ahead and do it. So I need you to think about the things you said you never would do. Because many of you already been doing them, right? Said you never would do. And then you go ahead and do them. And that had to be the challenge to get you to the higher level. How do I know what certain individuals in my experience are teaching when we don't operate on the same frequency? You use your discernment. You discern. Whatever applies to you in your dimension. Remember, everybody who is teaching is speaking on their dimension. And the thing about teachers is this, y'all. With teachers in this time normally do not evolve because of a dimension that they got you in. And many teachers in this dimension are afraid to lose your ear. They're afraid to lose your ear. And because they're afraid to lose your ear, they're going to continue to sound the same in different ways because they don't want to grow within themselves and go to the higher dimension. It's a lot of pressure on teachers because, see, in this time of reality, teachers are healing while they're teaching. And upon healing, you begin to contradict yourself because you become a new version of yourself, which contradicts the previous version. So you're like, well, you said this years ago, now you're saying this because I'm continuously growing and showing fruit for how I grow based off of not the money that I'm making, based off of the transformation that's occurring within my life. See, a lot of y'all look at money as success. And that's not how gods of the cosmos look at success. Success is truly transformation, becoming the version of yourself, because the wealth is truly internal. Seklezumi repliking daeg solmekches. Blezomidorekum zati korim boxed. Blizomidorekum. Health is not the only thing that's wealth. Spirit is wealth. It's a lot of healthy motherfuckers that can't walk under the sun right now. I don't care how healthy you are. You got to have the right frequency. Frequency is wealth. Because with frequency, you can overcome even food. Blezomidorekin tarik box. And there was a time and a dimension where I thought all the health, it was just health. That's all you needed was health. No, you need frequency, you need spirit, you need all of it. You need mental acuity. Because you can be healthy, but have zero mental acuity, zero mental strength, zero emotional intelligence, and you still be unhealthy like a mug. So it's all of those things put together, not just the health. Health is only one factor to this equation. Because we are alchemists now. Aren't we alchemists? So if we're alchemists, don't we transform everything? So if I ate a pizza, I could just transform the molecular structure of the pizza based off of the frequency that's in my body. And my body rearranges the cells and the food. Well, my body's cells rearrange the food and then transform into something else I need it for. And I did that for a time. I wanted to see what could I eat that would lower my frequency. And guess what, y'all? Nothing. Anything that I ate raised my frequency. Now, doesn't mean I did it every day. It doesn't mean I did it all the time. Doesn't mean that. All it means is that I wanted to prove to myself that I am an alchemist at the core of me, and there's nothing here that is not energy that I cannot transform if I put it in my body. And I have tested literally everything that I once said that I could not eat, that you could not eat, that I said on this platform. Which is why I had to be the one to teach this, because many of the health people are not going to tell you this type of stuff because they have not got to a high enough dimension to learn this stuff, because they make money off of the dimension that they exist in. So somebody had to continuously evolve, because there were many beings that would not evolve because of how much money they made off of the dimension that they existed in. And if they went to a higher dimension, you would judge them, because their message would change. And because many people don't like to change, then you do not resonate with them anymore. You're not on the same wavelength, because they're continuously growing. And if the masses of people are not growing, then what? You lose money. Then you got to figure something else out, right? For me, when I got the call, the big call, it said, go in nature and leave your business. And I've been told to leave my business back in what intensity I was getting the call to leave my business. But I'm like, what I'm gonna do for money, right? What I'm gonna do for money, right? But now when I got earthly elevation, I'm like, all right, bet. This is good. This is on the frequency, sacred geometry, all that good stuff. And then I get the call again. This time it's really like, get the call. Do it now. Leave. Let your business go. Sell your house and go on the road. And I don't know what happens, right? And yet, like, you're right, it's for the collective. As a teacher for the collective, I have to do things that many of y'all don't have to do, which is fine. I have to give you information without charging you, right? I have to help you activate so you can tap into your internal wealth. Maybe one day I may need you. I don't know. But at this particular point in time, this is what I had to do. I could not think about the consequence, because the consequence is always internal wealth if you continue to go and never quit, no matter how challenging it gets. And because I went through certain missions of letting go things previously before I had to do that, I was ready to let go of my whole entire life in New Jersey. I have a 4-year-old daughter. Me and her had a great relationship, but things had to happen where her mom took her more away from me and made it very difficult for me to see her. At the same time I was getting the call, I was like, okay, now I'm getting the call at this time where the mother is taking her away from me more, thinking that, yeah, she's just doing what she does, but it's setting me up to be able to leave and truly help her later on. My son as well, I had to kick him out in the same month. I saw all 3 of my kids. I got 4, but one of them live in Virginia, right? My youngest son with his mom. Right? I'm telling you my story so you can understand how it relates to yours, right? Because I'm transparent like a mug on this joint. I don't care, because it's my journey, it's my story. I live and I breathe this stuff. So last time I saw my 2 daughters, it was November 5th of 2024 is the last time I saw them in person. And I'm continuing this journey because I am tapping into my internal powers, knowing that one day I'm going to get them out of the situation. But it was only because I took myself out the matrix long enough to discover that I had the ability to change it and to reform it, because I'm the creator of my reality. And I could not help them by being in there with them while they're going to school and I'm going working for money. And no, I don't know what I'm going to do for money. I haven't made a dime since April. Since I left my business, since I sold my house, I haven't made a dime since April. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't give a fuck. Because I understand that what's coming to me is way more valuable than that cash flow. My powers are coming back. The fuck? I'm going to keep on going, getting those. I don't care if I'm homeless on the street. It ain't going to be like that, but if it has to, it will be. Because at the end of the day, when I'm flying around this air and I'm changing everything, you'll remember what I went through to get there. And then you'll realize, oh, our journeys are like that. Maybe not as intense as mine, but you gotta let something go that you thought you ain't have to let go. I tell you that. Blir då är som inte korrekt sig chiang. Vlitor emo enz the king like zomi torek sound. Bliga mi som inte reklin taik zomi le aik sochi. Blida jami replin tomik soch okleg so remekax. Elumes tomik sachik. Vlizomi the red king somix. Somebody said, since we're listening to you, does that mean we have to face great sacrifices so we can pass the torch in our energetic grid? I only trust the unknown. I feel I am between worlds. You probably are. Listen, you don't find me unless you're about to do something big. Unless you're here to do something big. Regular humans do not find me, okay? I am not a human, okay? I am a celestial being. All right? Klezomi do reklek do mix so miktai kole erakum momizitjan dok. Blizomi do rekong ziktikin zomi da exalt. You cannot even sit in this frequency unless you got something good inside of you. Something ancient inside of you. You realize that, right? Klezomi do reklum ba bok. Esomi tanj. Esomi klezomi do reklek zomi chai lo omisemi teksu. Bligai mo ozitjan do klozomi ek. Ezemi dezu kai replik. Sonj. Blingaik sonj. Ezimi daig rockin. Klezimik. Aik sosh. Yeah, man. Yeah. Mezimi darik. And this might be confirmation for you to do what you gotta do. Because, y'all, you ain't gonna listen. Understand this. You are surrounded. Matter of fact, how about this? This is why I live like this. I realize that everything I do is recorded. And I realized it a long time ago. I'm like, wait a second. So everything I do is recorded by these humans here and by the cosmos that's watching us, all around us and inside of us. You mean to tell me, when I get back to my glory, fully glory, I gotta watch myself being a bitch? I gotta watch myself thinking that these people around me are more important than my internal mission? No. I'm living a movie. And so are you. And this is about to be, this whole movie is going to be watched by you, and it's being watched live by everybody in the cosmos. And you must live as such. Because I see a lot of people ain't living as such, and you being watched right now, and they just looking at you like, If they knew who they were. And even sometimes after beings find out who they are, they still don't move because you think that you think you're going to be able to help these people without your power. If somebody got power over you to make you work and to put their face on the money that you are slaving for, right? And you find out you got the power to change all that, and you don't do something about it, then everything you about to go through, you deserve to go through because you're putting yourself through it so you can see your internal greatness. Mesty shares. Moklengdorik blue, I exalt you. Emistans? Mosin testic. Blai room. Varmerectic stoviek. Glue zetikang zaktum. Vlegzimi jai exaltik. Listen, yo. It would have been much easier for Reggie, Mr. Intensity, or Coach Reg B, right? To continue to have a successful business as Earth Elevation, because when I let my company go, it was at the peak. It was making money at the highest peak. When I let it go, I'm like, dang, I was doing shows. I was winning. And then I get the call. After I get the call from nature, and nature says, you got to do, this is what you got to do. That's what you got to do. And nature really is you, because as above, so below, as within, so without. So all this is basically you, right? And then when you are doing the right things, the next level is telling you, hey, yo, it's time to do the thing to get to the next level, and you're not going to like it, but you're going to do it, right? And I let it go. I'm like, well, what am I going to do for money? Don't worry about it. Sell your house. And then they robbed me by selling my house. I got into this stupid loan in 2020. And then they took like $71,000 from me. I'm like, damn. So I don't even got as much money as I think I was going to have. And I got to move around the land? My goodness. Hero's journey type stuff, right? Hero's journey type stuff. Klexumik, Tariq, Zonj. It's detoxing me. I'm detoxing right now. My goodness. Wow. Anyway, so basically, you are at a position right now. Whatever it looks like for you, it could be small, because nothing is small. It just feels small until you realize it has something to do with something big that you're about to do right now. Bledo me correct boim zonj. Orem klo exotic on mistes. Sekli. Because like they always say, many are called, few are chosen, right? I bet. But when you're called, that means you chose yourself to make a move, right? So all of you right now are probably calling yourself. The one that's choosing you is you. I know how we like to give honor to the Most High, but you got to realize that you're a part of the Most High. And when you don't give honor to yourself and something externally out of yourself, you're actually not giving yourself credit for the experience that you left the Most High, which is you separating yourself individually in this mission. Give honor to yourself, because that's how you give honor to the Most High. That's you. Kazimik. We all come from the same cup, yo. We all come from the same cup, having individual experiences. Blezumidore Kang, Seti Korik Borim Vok. Mestishan Toring Moking. Lezuran Dorik Mosh. Miss Desorim. I mean, somebody had to do this. Somebody had to make the sacrifice. I was watching and monitoring all the teachers out here. All of them. All of them. I'm like, well, if you read all these books, how come you ain't telling them the truth then? Oh, you need to make money and you ain't willing to let that money go to actually tell them the truth. Now, they will be judged. They will be judged for that, but that's not my issue. I learned from that. I'm like, okay, somebody got to actually put it all on the line. For real, because ain't none of them niggas doing it. I got, and if it's going to be somebody, it's going to be the nigga that call himself intensity. Evelisa me dore clean, touring boy, me so to me clive, songe. Mestin, lekoe mozichan, dalkoe mosti, shali kaext. Masti me lo me kesu me lekum. Like I'm out here in the real Egypt, right? This is the real Egypt. I'm seeing my face on the side of these mountains. I'm like, yeah, that's when I live life as King Tut, out here. Now, when you see your face on the side of the mountains, remember that was your face. You're like, how can I ever go back to that Matrix stuff? How can I ever go back to serving a system that siphons my energy, knowing what I am and what I'm actually here to do? I'd rather die. Voxed. Because that living that I was living as to this version of yourself, of this self, is literal death. I couldn't do it. For 24 hours, I couldn't do it. I'd rather die. And some of y'all got to get to that state of being in a dimension where it's painful enough to leave it. Because every state is a different dimension. Borim Zoldin Jorin Lekuang Zofist. Eklexumik Jorin Boxed. Elixorim Boxy Chend. Elixomis Daik Zolchin. Lakamizami last. So you ask me, how could I leave this and how can I leave that? I know what's coming to me. I know who I am. And when you know who you are, those people that you left will be happy that you left. And this time that they spent away from you, in order for you to tap into your power, will be a distant memory to them. This little year and some change I'm away from my children will be a distant memory to them for the amount of abundance that I first bring to myself and reflects to them and everybody that I know. Mom clean, lekoing dog. Shoot, man, I wish I would be in the system with them. Talking about dad's going to help you. Dad can't help you because dad got to help himself first. How you going to help your family going to work with them? How you going to help them celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving with them? You really going to help them like that? All right. You believe that until you continue to get siphoned by every single thing around you. Get siphoned from bills, get siphoned from work, get siphoned by your spouse, get siphoned by your family, by your responsibilities, by your routine, by your school, by your program, by your beliefs, by your religion. Yeah. Until you know who you are a food source to everybody who is in that program. Facts. Blezumidori come salty currying loring salt. Hey, lucky great cause. I read your comment. As a matter of fact, it was because of your comment that I'm doing this video right now. Interesting you found yourself here at this time. I didn't tell nobody I was going live. You see how that works? Right? It was because of your comment I'm doing this video. I'm like, you know what? After I read your comment, I'm like, yeah. A lot of people do not believe they can do what we did. And because of what we did, what's coming to you right now? Your powers, your abilities, your knowledge, your flow is coming to you right now. And yes, in the beginning, it will be difficult. Facts. It will be the most challenging thing you ever had to do in your entire existence. And that is why you're doing it. You did everything else already. You know what that looks like. I know what going to work look like. I know what working in a business looks like. I don't know what trying to find my powers look like without any of that other stuff around me. But I do know what my powers can do when I have them fully. And damn it, they come into me every day. My powers, my knowledge, my language, which bends the molecular structure outside and inside of my body, unlocks key codes to the point where I can go to a land that was cold before I got there and change the entire geography. They can't Kim over here because my energy is so high. I am the fucking sun, and so are you. Person means you're a percentage of the sun. And when you begin to tap into your internal sun, that begins to fight for you. They can Kim all day long here. But as long as I'm in this motherfucker, I'm going to have my son. Klexumi dong, sotokorik. Sen chick. And people out here are hiding from the sun. And people out here are walking in the sun. It's based off of their frequency. It doesn't matter if they're white, black, Spanish. It's frequency. McClagzumi Dorim Volkoring League. Shasik Parim Voxed. Hello Starim. It feels, this sun is like sex on my body. Like I said, I'll be out here butt ass naked. Yeah, it's funny, yo. So I climb the mountains, right? So I can be naked, because when I'm naked out here, because you gotta let the sun hit all your body. There's something that happens to you when you let the sun hit all of your body, right? There are certain parts of your body, they put programs in you to have clothes on in certain parts of your body so the full burst cannot hit your body. But when you take them off and let your sexual organs and your hips, the center of your body, get that sun, yo, next level. My real voice came through after I did it for the first time out here, right? So I'm out here on top of the mountain a couple of days ago. And do you know they done climbed that mountain just to see me up butt ass naked? And that was a fear sense, because the old me would just put my clothes back on and went somewhere else. I'm saying, you know what? Because everything is in an external reflection of you, those people are actually me. Watching myself right now, seeing what I'm going to do. So I just stayed out there butt naked and just sat there. They even waved at me while they were climbing the mountain. I'm like, yep, took pictures and everything. Because for a God, naked doesn't mean shit. They make laws so when it's time to actually get naked under this sun that tells you to get naked, you ain't gonna want to do it because you think about their laws. And that program got to be. Now, I'm not saying go out in the middle of the street and go get naked. I go out in nature, right? And go ahead and get naked. Right? I climb mountains so nobody can walk around me and get naked, right? And I sit there and I lay there butt naked. But that was a program that I had to break. So the first time I saw the person, when I was getting to my same spot, right? And then I saw a person hanging on the side of the mountain, smiling at me. I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna let you see me butt naked. That was day one. Day 2, I'm like, I'm going back to the same spot because you think you're about to get me off this spot. I like this spot, right? So bet. I go back to the spot and I'm naked, and then I see both of them climbing the mountain in the same spot. I'm like, this is a test. Because everything's a test, right? Everything's a test. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. And because I did it, I got a major, it was the biggest activation of my life that day. And then I realized I got to get naked more often. And my hips, because you have certain parts of your body too. I got to tell y'all this. You got certain parts of your body that be hurting, right? And the sun are supposed to heal these parts of the body. And they're going to continue to hurt unless you let the sun hit parts of the body to free up that energy. Because you have powers and information in these parts of your body. And for me, it's my hips. My hips are beyond level 10 tight. And in order to open my hips up, I must let them get under the sun. So what must I do? Pull my pants down. Meklexumi jorim voxt. Glezomi diags mishiakum vostigule as urim vok. Try it out. Now, like I said, all of you are probably followed everywhere. You're never going to avoid it. It don't matter where you go in nature, you're going to be followed by helicopters, by planes, by jets, by ships, by people. Wherever you go, get over it. The more isolated places are, the longer you'll have of privacy. But you're not going to experience privacy until your ass is in that air and you got your realm back. Until then, just deal with the fact that they're going to watch you. Because the story here is your life. The movie truly is your life. You think you're watching movies for entertainment, but they're making movies about how you truly live. They act how you live. They study for years to act like you live in your life right now. And right now, your story is being studied by everybody. What will you do next? What will you overcome next? Climb Zortinge. Mestinge. Maklag, Zorim. And they'll even tell you certain things are wrong with your body, so you don't think they'll ever be healed, not realizing that the sun can heal any part of your body that they thought was broken. I tore both my, y'all know I tore both my Achilles, and they said I have degenerative hip issues and I will need new hips by the time I'm 50. They said that my knees are popped and I have labrum tears in both of my shoulders. I hike and climb mountains and train every day. Every day, I hike, train, and climb mountains every day. My martial arts has come through. Sword work, fire. Staff work, next level. Broadsword work, next level. Boxing, next level. I got a new form of martial arts that I created myself, that I've been doing for thousands of years. It's called Taekwondo. Taekwondo, Soflin. And none of these issues affect me. Some maybe a little bit. But every day I'm healing more and more. Doctor said I would never walk right. Said I would never be able to do certain things. But I do whatever the fuck I want to do. And I hike every single day. I walk miles up and around mountains every day. I can't with the sun out here. You can't sit still with the sun out. It's impossible. Klasumik. I think the most difficult challenge for myself as a mover, as a protector, as a warrior is sitting still. This sun is giving so much freaking energy right now. Being inside is impossible with this when this thing gets up. Meklegzumik, Tarim Volk. Impossible. Lesson. Impossible. So you might as well do something with it. You might as well tap into yourself. You might as well get out in nature, because if you are achieved and got to a high enough level of frequency at this time, and you go outside, and that sun is going to make you do something that you literally will not do. Somebody said, can I still hoop? Basketball is like the easiest thing to me ever. It's like riding a bike. But let me tell y'all about these sports, y'all. Basketball is actually not for our bodies in this state. We got way better sports than basketball. Basketball is a slave sport. That's why everybody's Achilles be popping, they body be breaking, because basketball is not meant for the body. Not in this state. So yeah, of course I can still hoop. Do I want to? Hell no. I went to this hotel down here and they had a basketball court, right? I was shooting shots and everything. Next day, my knees was killing me. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this. I like climbing mountains, jumping rocks, training. That's better for my body. Fuck basketball. Basketball is, I mastered it and I quit. I was beating people's asses in basketball after I tore my Achilles. They couldn't do nothing with me because I'm a god and they're humans. Easy shit for gods. Basketball is easy. Sports is easy for us because it's primitive. We got something way better than basketball. Wait till we do mountain jumping. When we jump from this mountain to that mountain. Like Incredible Hulk. Blezomit kuringlik orim boim zote karik lag sumitarik. Blezomit rekleg sumich. Klags. Helus domis tami klag sumitrix. Estiliwa puag zoti shimirep likorim vorim lags. Mestit chokolawamostins. Aziliwayap dormiklik sumitarekin. Zemistars. It's not for you. It's not for you. And many of us are leaving our Achilles on them stupid ass courts, right? Stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. It's unnatural for the body. You want to try a real workout? Climb a mountain. Hike a trail. That's a real workout, right? Grab your staff, grab your weapon, and begin to allow your body to teach yourself. All these dudes online talking about pull-ups and push-ups. Climb a fucking tree, and then you tell me what it is. Most of them dudes are super in shape. You're strong for nothing. You're doing a pull-up bar and you're going nowhere. You're going to a gym and you're doing squats and you're going nowhere. Yeah, you can do 12 sets of 20 of 200 pounds. Can you climb a mountain? Can you climb a tree and overcome those fear senses? Can you climb a mountain at the same time? Because when you climb a mountain, you're doing like 1,000 lunges. Right? You're working on ankles out, getting that ankle strength together. You're getting them foot. Every time you walk over uneven ground and rocks, I wear these shoes when I climb the mountains, right? Check this, right? I don't even wear regular hiking shoes. Fuck them. I wear these shoes. I want to feel every rock under my foot. Because when you walk on a ground that's uneven with your real feet, right? Somewhat, because I can't walk on the ground with my real feet just yet. They're not strong enough, but they get in there. The muscles are strong, right? With these, then you begin to stimulate points of your foot, the acupressure points of your foot, which heal aspects of your body. I want to feel everything. All them people, that's what I'm telling you. All these things are programs that are given to you to make you think this is the way it is. Going to the gym is a slave workout. You're going nowhere. You're doing squats and presses. Yeah, you look strong, but you're not strong. You're not strong. I don't care how much you can bench. You can't climb a mountain. You can't climb a tree. You can't hike a trail. Then flex on that. Or even just be under the sun. Simple things like that. You can't even be under the sun. This is where we come from. Not that bullshit in the Matrix. So I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna let you do what you gotta do. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And I will see you in the next video. Klek zumik jaik, zolti korik, log senjurik.